Hey everybody, it's Freda. It's October the 3rd, 2014, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I mentioned last night about the NBC cameraman who came down the day after he was hired with Ebola. Today, I heard him, I heard that he had said he couldn't figure out how he contracted it. According to his mother says that he told her at one point he was trying to at one point he was trying to help decontaminate a car. He had most of the protective gear on, but he thinks something might have splashed on his body at that point. That's one possibility, but really one doesn't fully know. And I keep thinking about how they keep saying it's only transmittable through bodily fluid contact, but yet if that's the case, are you telling me that everybody in Liberia is spitting on each other? So what is it, and every time a story comes out, we have to always look at, are they hiding something from us, or is this a distraction? Is it propaganda? And my theory in part has been that by the CDC bringing those two doctors to the United States back in the beginning, and both of them already having had Ebola, and the doctor having already taken a blood transfusion from a boy that had survived Ebola, and the other person that came in with him, I believe she had been a nurse or an aid worker with him, she had taken an experimental vaccination. And so the CDC gets a hold of him, and I thought, you know what, they're going to make $1 million a day off of the fear of Ebola, because they'll be able to set up, just like the flu, every fall, you got to go get your flu vaccine shots, which I don't get, but most of Americans do. They'll be able to sell an Ebola shot. But I kept coming back to this in my head all day long. This cameraman, the other people, yeah, I can understand. The one gentleman that's in Dallas, he carried somebody who had active Ebola and was dying from it, so she may have been sweating, who knows. So I could see how maybe he got it, but this cameraman, I just was really confused about it. He didn't touch a body. He now says he was trying to help decontaminate a car, and that's the only thing he can think of. You know what? It hit me. Mosquitoes carry painful virus to Americans. Diseases transmitted by mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are vectors for diseases. Now think again, this is rampant in Africa. Fortunately for us, we're coming into the time of year when a lot of mosquitoes will be dying off, at least in the northern half of the country. But mosquitoes and viruses do not harm one another, but the virus reproduces inside the mosquito. Later, the mosquito can pass viruses to other humans when biting them. West Nile virus, malaria, dung fever, dog heartworm, so many things are transmitted by mosquitoes. And we have genetically modified male mosquitoes flying around out there now. You remember in the 80s when AIDS was such a big scare. They talked about the potential of mosquitoes carrying AIDS. And I've got to wonder. I've got to wonder, can a mosquito or a flea or a tick carry Ebola? If this gentleman was in Africa and he was only there for a short period of time, and he came in contact with no other human that had Ebola that he knows of, especially their bodily functions, how did he get it? And if that's the case, do you suppose they would just not mention that to us, to minimize the fear? Because again, a lot of times like to scare us to get certain reactions out of us, but they also at the same time don't want to cause complete meltdown panics. Stock markets crash, people flip out, society can break down if there's too much fear. So just enough fear to make you nervous and go get a flu shot is a good thing, but too much fear can cause a panic. If people thought that this crap had shown up now here for the first time in North American continents, and if they thought that things like mosquitoes, fleas, ticks, so forth could carry it, or if a mosquito bit him and flew to, let's say, a deer, stung the deer, would the deer then carry the virus? Is there a food chain pattern that can go on with this? And just like how with a mosquito, the virus does not affect the mosquito, but it will actually grow and incubate inside the mosquito, and then the mosquito releases it again without it harming the mosquito. Can that happen, in other species of insects? I just think we need to really toss this one around, because a mosquito sucks the blood of its victim. That's a bodily fluid, obviously a big carrier for the virus, just like with all the other diseases that mosquitoes carry. And then he goes and flies around and bites somebody else. Could it spread that way? Flies? I mean, I don't know. I'm talking out my ass here right now, guys, but it just kind of clicked with me when this particular situation came up, and this cameraman said he did not have any contact with any infected individuals and their bodily functions or fluids. So, going to be watching that theory pretty close, guys. Let me know if you hear anything similar along those lines or counterproductive to that. I'd love to hear if you have any, not theories and thoughts necessarily, but if you have any facts to back up or destroy what I'm saying, please let me know, because I'm just throwing some theory out there at you right now.